Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and for those of you who don't know me yet, I like to talk about luxury makeup here, and I really like to play with things that I already have as well. So today we are starting a new series, and this series, we're calling it Nailed It, and this series was developed thanks to Couture, who is one of my subscribers here, and she came up with this idea of recreating some looks. And, we kind of went back and forth over some details. And basically what we're going to be doing for this series is I'm going to be trying to work with some other content creators, people of different ages, different skin tones and so forth as well, people who have different makeup styles. And we're going to use things that we already own in our stash. So we're not going out and buying anything new for these challenges. The challenge is going to be to recreate a look or a theme or reinterpret something using what we already have. So in the future, we will have, several people joining in on this, and we'll be able to see a whole lot of different variety of products and so forth used to create a similar vibe. Now, one of the things for me, at least, with all of these new releases, I kind of get so caught up in everything that's coming out and how pretty it looks. Sometimes I forget that I have something very similar already, and it really helps to go through your stash and see what you already have that you can use to create something similar that really catches your eye. I also find it very inspiring to look at some of these photos that we see on Instagram and on models and so forth, and just see how I would interpret it for a normal look. Now today, I try to kind of copy the look, and that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes I'll take something and kind of make it more wearable for every day and so forth. Now, as I mentioned, this series is getting started thanks to Couture, who helped me come up with this idea, and I brought this idea to my friend Susanna. And if you are familiar with Susanna, or if you remember my Dior Tutu review and look with that, Susanna is the one I collaborated with on that video. And Susanna Torres, she's got a great channel. She's a makeup artist, and her channel is really going to be focusing more on how-tos and tutorials and things like that. So this series is a perfect fit for her as well. So she and I are going to be working on this together. And this week, it's just going to be the two of us. But in 2 weeks, so 2 Fridays from now, we are going to be working with a few other content creators as well. And there will be so much more variety to look at. You can see different products that you might have and how they can be used or reimagined. And you'll also be able to see, how things look or get reinterpreted by other people. I would love to know what your thoughts are on this series idea. I think it is so much fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And honestly, it's just, I just think it's so fun and enjoyable to go through what I already have and things that I may have forgotten. So it's sort of like shop my stash in order to create a look. And that's, I just think it's so much fun. And that's the enjoyment of makeup, getting to play with things you already have and figuring out some new and different uses for them as well. So if you are interested in this look here from Lisa Eldridge, this is my interpretation, and let's go ahead and see how I did it. So the first thing we're going to do is going to start off with the base. And I'm going to go ahead and apply my Surratt Perfectionist Primer and the Hourglass Veil Eye Primer. So I really concentrate the primer more in the T-zone area, since that is where any oil would start peeking through on me first. And I'm just going to take a tiny bit of the Hourglass, and this feels more like an eye lotion than a traditional primer. It doesn't feel drying on my lids, which is why I like this one. I do think there are primers that have slightly better longevity, but it lasts all day still. So unless I have like a super, super long day, I haven't had any issues with longevity with this primer. Now, looking at the photo, Dua Lipa seems to have a little bit of extra glow in her cheek area. So I'm going to take the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. And this is shade 1. I'm just gonna put some on my cheeks here. I'm gonna take the Chikuhodo T11 brush and just kind of smooth that in. I'm keeping it really to more of the cheek area. But this is the brush I'm gonna use for foundation, so any little bit might get in there. For foundation, I'm going to use a mix of the Cochindo Aqua and Moisture foundations. And I think Dua Lipa Skin just looks really pretty natural in there. It looks moist and dewy, but not like super glowy or anything. So I'm just going to take a little mix of both of these. So I have the Moisture in 012 and the Aqua in 002. And I'm just going to mix them together on my hand and apply them. And if you missed my videos yesterday, I have a little cut on my chin because I am just that clumsy. It was kind of ridiculous. I was putting moisturizer on and somehow my fingers just got in the way and it just kind of cut me. I don't know. You're supposed to use the pad of your fingers. I'm not sure how I did that, but that's me. All right, I'm gonna add just a dab of this on here. I'll maybe add a little concealer, but it's still a little sore there. So I'm not gonna really cover it up completely. Just don't wanna affect the healing process. For under eye concealer, I'm taking the Chantecaille Le Camouflage Stilo, and I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this here. And I'm using the Kevyn Aucoin contour brush. Just kind of smooth this in. I probably should have started with the eye look in case there's any fallout or anything, but oh well. Now let's go ahead. We're going to do the eye look next. So let's try to figure out what shades to use here. And when I'm looking down, that's me referring to the photo here. And you know, there's like a light aqua blue and kind of like a bright cerulean blue. And then at the end, it kind of turns into a bright blue with like, there's a hint of purple there. So I'm gonna see what I can find. I'm pretty sure that Susanna is going to use the Denim Quad from Dior, so I'm not going to use that one. Instead, I want to play around with some other shadows I have to see how close I can get. So let's go ahead and swatch some. This is the Dior Dive palette, and got these two blues here. This one could work if for the inner corner portion, but maybe I need to have the deeper blue as a base for that. Let's see how that looks. So if I mix the two together, oh, I think that might really work well for the inner corner. And then maybe if I top it with a little bit more of this afterwards, that's a possibility. This is the Chanel Splendor A Audace. We're gonna check this blue. I think it's probably gonna be too dark. Yeah, that's too deep. Let's look at the Pat McGrath Blitz Astral Quad. And this one is, I forget what this one's called. I think this is like Nocturnal Nirvana. Okay, oh, you know what? Maybe I could pair these two. Yeah, I think maybe topping this on top of these will be a good choice for the inner corner. Then we have the Pat McGrath Mothership 1. We're gonna check this blue. And this is pretty bright like this, but I was thinking we might be able to use this in the outer corner and then maybe top it with something a little bit lighter. And then I wanted to check out the Decadence palette. So we're gonna check this one. This is definitely gonna be too deep, but let's try this teal shade. All right, so that is deep, but it's a great shade. I think maybe I can figure something out here. Let's check out some of the blues in the Natasha Denona Blue Purple palette. And honestly, I think most of these aren't really gonna work. So I'm gonna try these two here. Let's see. Might be a little bit too green. That one's gonna be too deep. Yeah, really, these shades just don't, they're not bright enough. And let's check out some Sydney Grace shades. So this one here is called Fierce. Let's see how this looks. Okay, this is a bright blue. Oh, it's actually more purple. Okay, so that's purple, not blue. I also have these Cleonata shadows, which I haven't gotten around to trying yet. Let's see how these look. So we have this one, Calx. Oh, that one could work. I think this is gonna be too much of a duochrome, but let's see. This is called Tapestry. Didn't get a good swatch. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's too much purple in that one. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands and then we are gonna get started on the eye look. So looking very closely at the eye look and kind of blowing up the picture, it looks like the lower lash line, it starts here, but then it kind of goes out straight. So, and then there are like drawn in lashes. I probably won't do the drawn in lashes, but I do want to start with creating the right shape. Now my eye shape is different from Dua Lipa's, so my look will not look exactly the same, but let's see what we can do with creating a similar shape to the lines at least. And if you look very closely, obviously there is black eyeliner, but it looks like there's a bit of bright blue eyeliner to help start that line. So we're starting with the Linda Hallberg Atria Flash, and I just sharpened it so it's nice and sharp. So it looks like it follows the curve until about here, and then it just kind of goes straight. Now, obviously I'm a lot older than Dua Lipa, so I have creases where she does not. All right, but it does extend past a little bit here. All right, so I think since I have much older eyes, let me try and smudge this out a bit. For that sets completely, I think I just need to go up more. Yeah, I think that'll be better. Okay, I think that is more like the photo. And now that we have that part of the shape in place, let's go ahead and start on the black liner just so I have the upper lid in shape. So for the upper lash line, it looks like these two are gonna be kind of parallel lines and we're all using black and it looks to be black pencil. So we're gonna start with this. This is the Linda Hallberg Black Core Crayon. I'm gonna start here so I can get that parallel line. I think that's the general shape. Mine's really messy. This crayon is starting to dry up. I think it's getting a little old, so maybe that's part of my problem. So I think we'll just get the shape on now and then we'll go in with a smoother crayon later when we're finishing up. So we all know my lining skills are not great. That's the best I'm gonna get for the shape right now. Let's start working with the color and then we'll go back and fix that later. So again, I have all of these swatches here and I think we're gonna start off with the inner corner. For the inner corner, I'm gonna do a mix of these two blues from the Dior Dive palette, and this is the Smith 253 brush. There isn't much of a crease shade there, but there does look to be a little bit of a shimmer. I'm gonna go in with this peach shade here. This is the Crease 2 brush from Sonia G. Just gonna add a little bit here and kind of buff it up. So it acts as a base and provides just a smidge of color there and a little bit of pearlescence. Okay, so I think that looks right. And then it looks like there might be a little bit of a highlighter on there that we'll add at the end. This blue needs a little bit more of the light blue, so I'm just going into the light blue, same brush, just I'm gonna dab this on top. And we're gonna add the Blitz Astral Blue from the Nocturnal Nirvana palette later as well on top of this. I wiped off this brush. I'm going into the Calx shade from Cleonata, and I'm gonna see how this looks right next to it. I like the sheen of these. I have not used any of these shadows yet, so this is my first attempt with the Cleonata, but I love the sheen. You know what I'm not doing is I need to actually go above my crease a bit with these shades. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more, kind of right up to, I'm gonna kind of go up to this part. Just a little more of the Dior blue to meet that. And I'll buff all that at the end, so hopefully it looks a little bit better. Now to me, it looks like the outer corner really has a little bit of purple, but it's not like a purple shadow. I'm gonna actually use my swatch on my arm, and I'm using the same brush. I'm just gonna try and get a little bit up. This is the Beauregard shade from Sydney Grace. I'm gonna just tap that off. I'm just gonna add a touch of this right here, so it's kind of underneath the blue. Next, I'm going into the Mothership 1 from Pat McGrath, and I'm using the same brush again. I'm gonna gently pat this here. I'm going over the purple. Put some of this in the crease. I am taking the Surratt Smoky Eye brush, and I am using it horizontally to kind of blend all of these shades together. And you can see that it's hitting the top point of the color as well, so that I can get a little bit of a smoother blend there. We're going back in with the Arrowhead brush and into the blue from the Blitz Astral Quad. I'm gonna put this here in the inner corner, and although Lisa Eldridge's doesn't have sparkle, I think the color works. Now for the lower lash, I'm taking the Sonia G Pencil 1 brush into the Calx shade. You can see this is like a really creamy pigment, so it really adheres to each other. So I just dabbed it on a cloth so any like pieces that were hanging off kind of came off. And this looks to be like edged right along the blue eyeliner. So it actually looks like it goes a little bit past the eye socket. All right, I'm gonna start going over the eyeliner now, and I'm going to use the Chantecaille Luster Glide Silk Infused Eyeliner in Raven. Let me just get it a little sharper. All right, let's see if I can do a better job this time. It's really hard to do this in the camera because I can't hold the mirror at the same time. Okay, so it's better, but it's definitely not as nice as Lisa Eldridge's. I am taking the Kevyn Aucoin. This is a small eyeshadow eyebrow brush, and I am just kind of brushing out this. Her edges are softened. They're not super harsh from the pencil. This pencil's pretty much already set. And now really there's no black liner on the bottom. There's a little bit here, this like little bit that comes out. And then there's like drawn in lower lashes to make them look a little clumpier. So let's smudge this out a little. Okay, I am taking the Sunny Crease 2 that I used earlier, and I am just gonna kind of soften all of this up here. It's actually on my brow bone. And I always clean the brush off in between the sides. Honestly, I think the best sheen's actually coming from the Cleonata one. It kind of looks the most similar to what Lisa Eldridge has for a finish on her eyeshadow. So I'm taking the Surratt Smoky Eye Brush. I'm gonna just kind of swirl this in here, and I'm gonna just rub it all over. There, okay, now you can see that whole like eyelid has a little bit of that kind of satin shimmer, but it's like a moist satin. I need to clean up this inner eye area, so I'm just using a microfiber cloth. I'm gonna wipe some of this away, and I need to go in with an aqua type shade here a little bit. Would have been smart to use a towel that's clean instead of the one I've been wiping my brushes on, but oh well. I didn't really have a good aqua out. This is another one of the Cleonata shades. This is called Aqua Fortis. Here, I'll show this to you. And I mean, look at that. That looks really pretty. So I just want to dab this in the inner corner because it looks like there's a little bit more aqua in there. Taking the Sunny Pencil Pro for this. All right, I'm just gonna edge this in. And it's a little bit down here as well. Oh yes, this color definitely works better. Okay, I think that color is definitely a lot closer to the one in the photo. Just blending with the smoky eye brush again. I have to say I'm really impressed with the sheen of these Cleonata shadows. My order took a very, very long time to get here, as in many, many months, partly due to the pandemic. So I don't know, I just haven't gotten around to playing with them, but I'm very impressed with the shades that I used today. Now on the brow bone, I mentioned it looked like there was some highlight. It's very pale, but I'm gonna go in with this. This is the holiday highlighter from Clé de Peau. It's called Moon Shimmer. Just gonna take a little bit of this and brush it up here. It actually looks like there's a little bit of it in between these two lines here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead with the Chanel La Base mascara. This is just a sample size. I'm gonna put some on the lower lashes too. Trying to get it a little clumpy in spots so I don't have to really worry about drawing in lashes. And I'm gonna try out this Milk mascara. This was from the Sephora birthday gift, and I haven't used this yet. So it's the Kush mascara. Okay, I don't know, is this dried up? No, it's just maybe I didn't have very much on the brush there. I don't know if my tube's a little dry or what. I hadn't opened this before, but the product is pretty dry. Well, that's gonna be it for those lashes. I have some cleanup to do. Okay, I'm just gonna do my brows while that dries. And this is the Gucci brow pencil. I have to say that mascara, I don't know if it's just a bad tube. I actually have another sample tube that I just got, so I'll try that one and see if it's the same, but I'm not a fan so far. All right, I think that mascara is making my eyes water. Not positive that that's what it is, but they didn't start watering until I put the mascara on. So I'll give it a few more tries with the other tube and see if it's any better, but otherwise this mascara is not for me. This is it for the eyeshadow, but we've got some cleanup to do. So I'm gonna move you back out further and I'm gonna add a little like concealer or something to clean that up. So I'm just taking this little beauty blender and the foundation brush I used earlier. Let's see if I can get any product off of that here. Just kind of clean up a little bit. So let me go in with the brush first. Not so hot, Lexi. All right, so I put a little bit of the Chantecaille concealer on here. I'm just gonna kind of go around the eyes, clean up a bit. Well, let me know what you guys think of this eye look. I don't think I did such a hot job, but I also am not used to wearing blue eyeshadow up so high on my eyes. So it's really throwing me off a bit. Let's go ahead and finish up the face. And I think for blush, it looks kind of like a peachy blush. So I'm gonna go in with the by Terry Platonic Blonde. Taking the Sonia G Soft Cheek. I don't see any bronzer, so I'm not gonna do bronzer. All right, so I think the cheek color is right, and then there's some highlight as well. So let's look at that. It looks like it's kind of a soft champagne highlight. I actually want to go in with the Pat McGrath. So I'm using the same brush actually because it doesn't look like it's just in the highlight area. I'm just going to go in very softly and just kind of put that on. So I'm starting up high, but I'm putting some on top of the blush as well. I wiped off the brush and now I'm just gonna kind of blend those together a little. And you can still see that sheen from the Flawless filter as well, which I think makes a big difference. So we're gonna go in with the Pat McGrath lip liner in Half Naked. I'm gonna line my lips for that, and then we're going to go in with one of the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. So I'm not filling in the whole lips, but I am trying to feather it in. All right, so now we have a little bit of a gradient there. And we're gonna see how the Velvet Muse from Lisa Eldridge works for this. You know, I think the lipstick's actually a little bit lighter and creamier. I don't think it's a Lisa Eldridge lipstick. It actually could be one of her glosses, however, but I haven't gone through those yet. And we're gonna take the Suku Fog Liquid Lipstick in 103. This might be too mauve. I'm gonna add a touch of the Suku Glow Liquid Lipstick in 03. This is like a coral shade. Just gonna mix a little bit of this in so it gets a little pinker. Still not right. So I didn't remove that all the way, but I blotted it down all the way. We're gonna go in with just the 03. While this isn't an exact lipstick match, the other one's a little bit more of a rosier, milkier pink. I think it is close enough because the biggest thing to me is actually the texture and appearance of the formula, and I think that is right. So this is my final look, and I want to know what you guys think. Did I come a little close, sort of close? So please let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments, and please also let me know what you think of this type of video because it's something I think is really fun and I'm interested in doing more of these. Make sure you also hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when my next video will pop up. I have so many things that I don't have enough time to film and try everything out. So right now I'm working on Guerlain Holiday and I've done a couple days of testing so far, but I really don't want to put out tons of first impressions. So things are taking me a little bit longer, but I am working on getting to everything. Now make sure you check out Susanna's look, and if you're here from Susanna's channel, thank you so much for visiting, and please consider subscribing to my channel as well. Susanna and I plan on doing these challenges every couple of weeks, and you know, I think it is just so much fun, and it's just a little refreshing to be able to go through products that you already have. Even if they don't work exactly, you can still kind of get a similar vibe. And that's the important part. I think playing with makeup is fun, and having so many like new releases and reviews all the time, you know, it can get a little bit, I wouldn't say boring, because let's face it, I love shopping, I love buying new makeup, and I love trying new things, but it can get a little stale doing the same thing all the time. And I think challenges like this are just so much fun. So thank you so much to Ski Couture, who actually came up with this idea. And, you know, we kind of went back and forth and were able to come up with something like this. Now, in the future with these challenges, ideally we will have more people involved as well. We can have different people kind of rotating in and out for different challenges. So we can see a variety of different products used to get similar looks. And we can also see how these things, you know, work with different personal interpretations, as well as different skin tones and so forth as well. So I think it's going to be so much fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, please let me know what you think down below in the comments, and head over to Susanna's channel and click that subscribe button. She has tons of tutorials and so forth, and that's really going to be something she focuses a lot more on her channel. And she's a professional makeup artist, so she's definitely more skilled than I am with makeup, and I can't wait to see how her look turned out. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a great day, and I hope to see you soon.